We're here now, y'all. Ain't nothing else to say. He can't hide no more. It's time to take care of business. Work time. Work time. Work time. Also, I want to give a shout out to Red Spikes. He's another assistant trainer. Where you at, Red? I see you. You and Sal. Where Bernie the boxer at? Yes, sir. It's time to go to work, y'all. You can't either.
Well, I'm going to piggyback off what he said. There's no more talking, and there's nothing else they can say. And I just want to say, my chant is, it's time to eat. It's time to eat. And the reason why I say it's time to eat, because he hadn't missed a meal. It's time to eat. It's time to eat. It's time to twirl. It's time to make it happen. I'm tired of talking. Yeah. Hey, listen. Hold your voice. Hold your voice. Hold your voice. Hold your voice. Because y'all gonna get it. You can't talk. You can't fight. None of that. It's time to go. Showtime.
Man, let's go, y'all. Let's go. What's going on, guys? What's going on, man? A lot going on. We got the big fight tomorrow, man. Fight of the decade? Could it be fight of the century, man? Let me go ahead and get a link sent out real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry about that. Got to get a link sent out. Got to bring somebody in here. We got a big fight tomorrow, y'all. We got a big fight tomorrow. And I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say. I can't wait to hear everybody's opinions on this. This is going to be one of those fights, man. One of those fights. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, what's going on, guys? So what's going on, man? We got the big fight tomorrow, but before we get into this big fight, man, I want to say what's up to everybody, man. I got a lot planned coming forward with the platform, everything that we got going on, man. I plan on getting on here live more often, doing more Q&As, doing more trainings on here that we've done in the past. Got a couple new courses that I'm working on right now. We got a super special sale right now on my platform right now, and I'm also working on the Coach Anthony 2.0 elite training program, which is going to be something super dope for my people who love online boxing training. And but before we get into all that, man, who cares about that right now, man? We got to talk about this fight, man. We got Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Like I don't think that people really understand how big of a fight this is, man. I mean, I feel like it's a really the energy is good amongst the boxing community, but it's not what it should be. This is like the freaking biggest fight since Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao, man. And it's actually happening when it should happen. We're maybe a year too late, 2 years too late. You know what I mean? We need more attention on this fight. This fight is a spectacular fight. I know that the two fighters, they're not big brash talkers, and they don't like to talk too much trash or whatever. You see the coaches going back and forth, you know what I mean, trying to bring some of that excitement to it, man. But, man, yo, who are you guys picking? That's what I want to know. Who are you guys picking, man? Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence, man? This is this is something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what's messed up is we got something else that took the show today. We have my man Caleb Plant. I don't know if you guys seen what Caleb Plant did to Plant-Charlo, but let's go ahead and take a look. Happened quick. Let's do it one more time. Yeah, one more time. That happened so fast. Hold on.
You ever got me by my motherfucking face like that again, boys?
I know for a fact that Charlo is super embarrassed about that. You can see it in his face. He got caught with that shot. Like, damn it, I got caught slipping. Like, you almost seen it in his eyes that he said to himself, damn, I got caught slipping. He didn't even try to react off of it. You know what I mean? He's dressed in regular clothes. He's chilling. He's at the weigh-ins. He probably thought he was going to get off some words or whatever, and nothing was going to happen. And unfortunately for him, Caleb Plant wasn't playing that. Super clean shot. Literally a gazelle hook. Let's look at it one more time. Hit him with the gazelle hook. After he dropped and boom, came out with that shot real quick. I don't know if that was an open hand or a closed fist. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that was an open hand or a closed fist, man? It's hard to tell. A lot of people saying it's a slap, but as I look at it right now, I'm not too sure that it's an actual slap. It might have been like just a quick shot. You know what I mean? Either way, man, we got probably the biggest fight in the last decade happening tomorrow with two of the best fighters right now. And I really just don't know if the people quite understand the magnitude of this fight. I feel like there was more energy for Ryan Garcia versus Tank. And the truth of the fact of the matter is this fight is far more competitive than Ryan Garcia versus Tank was supposed to be. But for whatever reason, man, it's just getting some attention, and it's definitely it's going to get more exciting as the fight gets closer in the next 24 hours. But I need to know, man. I need to know. Who do you guys have, man? I'm bringing on my man Fast Eddie Chambers in a minute, and we're going to hear his prediction. Let me see what's up to the people in here real quick, man. Crawford by late round knockout. Spence is one-dimensional, comes forward, fights one speed, tends to be overly aggressive, has to get set up to punch, has little to no head movement, can't fight backing up. Going with my man Crawford by stoppage, man. Hold on, man. We're going to get right to it, man. I know Eddie's on a tight schedule. Eddie.
Yo.
What's going on, man?
Nah, not too much, bro.
We got.
How y'all feeling?
Feeling good, man. So we got one of the biggest fights in the last decade, I would say. Arguably the most competitive fight on paper in the last decade. Between, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, man. I want to get right to it. I want to cut to the chase. Who do you have winning and why?
Honestly, I like Errol. I like Errol because of his pace. And, now obviously Terrence is not all the other guys he's been fighting. You know what I mean? But I've just seen, other guys who, you would respect and you would think are really, really good fighters, just their whole game changed dealing with Spence's pace. You know what I mean? Just so many punches, and he's not throwing them soft. He's throwing hard punches. You know what I mean? Hard 70 punches around, just on you constantly, foot pressure. You know what I mean? It just wears on you mentally as the fight goes on. and you could just see a lot of times the fight and the other guy would just slowly go. You know what I mean? I understand Crawford probably is a little more explosive as far as power is concerned, maybe a little better on the outside, but Errol is really, really good on the inside and pace, and he throws so many. He is such a variation of punches everywhere. You know what I mean? They're coming at different angles. You know, it's a lot to deal with. And I haven't really seen him hurt much. You know what I mean? Other than the time he got, turned around by you guys and got hit with the shot he didn't see. Now, I'm not saying that, when he gets in there with Terrence, that won't change. But I think the way that Terrence Crawford can win the fight would be as if he can get respect or hurt Errol, wobble his legs, maybe drop him, something like that, where there's a chance that you can see that the effects of what he's throwing can has enough of an effect to keep him out, or at least get him out. You understand what I'm saying? I really think that his pace is just going to be a little too much for Terrence. Honestly, I think it's just going to be too much, too many. Like I said, too many different punches coming at him. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's really a lot. I watched the you guys fight, and I was just like, man, you're watching the fight. You guys are doing okay in spots early, and then after 3, 4, 5, it just started to get like, he was like, what the freak is going on here? Like you could just see him like, damn, he's still throwing these punches like that. You would expect him to get a little bit tired, get him, maybe get on the back foot a little bit, box a little bit, do something different than just keep that rain of shots coming at you, and it just doesn't stop. So I mean, unless he can hurt him and really get that respect, make him take a backward step, I just don't think he can deal with the pace.
Well, I'm glad you said Errol Spence, because now that gives me more of a okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick Crawford. And the reason why I like Crawford in this fight is because I believe, as good as Errol Spence is, I believe that Crawford has more layers to his game. I believe that we haven't even seen the best of Terrence Crawford yet. I believe that he hasn't been pushed to that limit yet. I think that Terrence Crawford, obviously, we know he could switch. Obviously, we know he could crack. Obviously, we know he can adjust. And he just gives off to me the same vibes that Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward gives off. Like when the going gets tough in these kind of fights, he's just a winner. So I just believe, based off of personality trait, I think that his personality trait is he's cut from a cloth that you don't see too many fighters cut from. I feel like guys like him, Shakur Stevenson, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, those guys were like, we don't lose. And Terrence Crawford reminds me of those guys. Now, with that being said, we've seen him fall behind on points in a lot of fights, and I feel like if he can't do something and earn the respect of Spence in this fight, then he's going to lose a decision, because he has a tendency of giving up early rounds. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I really believe Terrence Crawford is going to rise to the occasion, man.
I like the pick. I mean, I like what you're saying, and he does have layers to his game, but I don't really think that's what's going to be the difference in this fight. I think it's going to be more than just skill and even IQ to a degree. I mean, there's going to be components of that need to be in order, but I just think that it's where the other guy's willing to go. And I just look at Errol. His demeanor is all business, and I'm not saying that Terrence is not in the same kind of situation, but he doesn't think the same way. I just think Errol is always that way, 100% of the time. He don't seem to lose his cool. He don't lose his edge. And there's nothing really that moves him like too far off of where he normally is. Like even somebody talking crap to him. You know what I mean? Even if it's, like you see what happened with Terrence, his people, Earl's people, or whoever was supporting him talking crazy to Terrence. Terrence get a little emotional, going in, ready to roll, ready to rumble. And it's like, yeah, that's cool, but you got to be able to keep it.
I felt the other way around. I felt like, yeah, you're right. He did get a little bit emotional toward that one part where he started going back and forth with whoever it was.
Yeah.
But I also felt like Errol Spence was getting emotional in moments, and Terrence Crawford was keeping his cool. Like when they were talking to each other, like it was. Now the outside factors got to Terrence Crawford a little bit, but when he was talking to Spence, it seemed like Spence was getting riled up, and Crawford was cool. So I don't really know if Errol Spence isn't going to get right. I feel like Spence got a lot to prove, and my only question is this. And this is good that you feel this way because it gives us something to make the conversation a little bit more exciting. But Errol Spence is a straight come forward type fighter. He's gonna bring it to you. We know that. There's like we already know what the fight's gonna happen with Errol. He's coming to you. He's gonna put the jab on you. He's gonna try to go to your body. He's gonna try to break you down. We don't know necessarily what Errol's gonna do. I mean, what Spence is gonna do. I mean, what Crawford's gonna do tomorrow. We don't necessarily know because he's got so many layers to his game. We don't know. We don't know if he's gonna what stance he's gonna come out of. We don't know if he's gonna choose to bang it out in the inside pause. We don't know if he's gonna. We don't know if he's gonna try to stay on the outside and counter punch. We don't know if he's gonna hurt Errol with one shot. There's so many question marks with Crawford because we know deep down he has the ability to do so many different things. And my thing is, if Errol's right in front of you and he doesn't make it hard for you to find him, you don't think that Crawford can hurt him?
No, it's not. No. I'm not saying I don't think he can hurt him. I think that's the only way that he wants to fight. If he doesn't, he can. If he can't curtail that tide, that wave of punches that is going to be coming down on him, with stopping him, making him at least get on the back foot, making him have to respect what he's throwing. His pace, he's just not going to be able to keep up with the pace. You know what I mean? I don't think he will. I think if Errol gets into his comfort zone and his gear and he's just unloading shots and Terrence is forced to sit and watch and even try to play the counter punching game, he might end up behind. He might end up needing a knockout and then trying to run in on something and get caught with something with some shots coming in. And Errol Spence's body, head, everything, his shots coming from everywhere. You know what I mean? And he's tough enough to deliver and you know at range or inside. There's really not a lot, you know, as far as like his level of activity and where he's going to be going. That I just honestly really think the pace is just going to be too great for him. I really do. I thought this the entire time that I've looked at this fight, and I said the only way is if he can do something dramatic. He got to like put him down. He got to wobble him. He got to do something. I honestly really don't. I don't know if he can even win a decision, man. I'm gonna be real with you.
Wow.
I just think I really don't.
I'm really surprised you're that one-sided with Errol because for me, I couldn't pick. Only reason I'm going with this Crawford pick is because something inside of me is giving me an intuition that Crawford's gonna figure it out. But
he might.
People been asking me all day, who do you think is gonna win? I'm literally giving my prediction for the first time right now on this live. People been asking me for months, who do you got? Who do you got? Who do you got? I'm like, bro, I can't pick. Now, when I see everything you're saying, what makes this situation interesting, right, is we already know that Crawford had a hard time with a smaller Gamboa, right? But in the same token, we also seen Crawford look spectacular against the same guys that Spence had tough fights with. But if you talk about Sean Porter gave him the blues too early. It was they caught him. I thought Sean Porter won the first 4 out of 6 rounds, and then after that, Crawford cruise controlled and then won spectacularly. In my opinion, better than Spence did. And now,
he stopped him. He stopped him. There's no doubt.
The Kell Brook situation. I don't want to bring Kell Brook up because obviously Kell Brook was damaged goods by the time Crawford got to him. So I don't want to bring that up. But he did get him out of there in 2 rounds, right? Or 3 rounds. Yeah. Then, of course, you got those are 2 common opponents that they have. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the situation with the Danny Garcia fight. I felt that if Danny Garcia punched more in that fight with Errol Spence, he would have been in that fight and been able to really rack up some rounds. Now,
but that's key.
I think that Terrence Crawford brings more to the table than Danny Garcia does.
He does. He does. I'm not saying he doesn't. I think there's obviously some wrinkles that Danny doesn't have, but part of the reason is Danny's style is like that too. He doesn't. He's more of I pick my punches a little carefully, but a lot of the reason why he wasn't in the fight was because he couldn't. He didn't have a chance to. He put them hands all over. He did. He could have tried. He had opportunities.
Danny Garcia's been known to not pull the trigger.
No. And I agree with that. I agree with that. But even then, he couldn't. Earl didn't give him an opportunity to. There was too much offense coming. There was too much to worry about. The same thing like when you watched him fight you guys. It was the same thing. Just too much offense. Dudes got to sit and watch. They got to sit and watch. They can't because if they let their hands go, even like, all right, I know Mikey Garcia is not a good one to pick up because Mikey Garcia was coming up too high and all that. But once again, he couldn't even pull the trigger. It was too much coming at him. Look, it was.
You don't think when you're a guy, and you know this for a fact because you're a fighter, when a guy throws a lot of punches at you, you're a good counter puncher, good timing, and you got good power. Isn't that guy literally doing exactly what you want him to do? Like he might not be able to keep the pace that Errol got. But Errol is walking into traps. Easily walking into traps. And I don't see Errol. Everybody says how great fundamentally he is, and I think he's solid, but I don't see
I think solid.
I don't see him as a defensive wizard either.
He's not. And that was my one knock on him.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't see him as a guy who's not gonna get cracked clean tomorrow if he decides to run down and try to just bring it to Spence the way everybody assumes he is. I see it's like, bro, you're going to leave yourself exposed.
Maybe. But the one thing I do say about Errol, even though he may not be the nicest on defense, with the head moving or catching, whatever, he does come back. His hands come back. He does. You can see him throw shots and his hands come back. He can be at times predictable, but then there's times where he varies his punches from the head to the body pretty well. I mean, if you want to nitpick certain spots, he wants to start with the same kind of combination, basic double jab, right hand or whatever. I get those types of things, but there are times that it changes. If he sees that it's not working, he goes to something different. You know what I mean? He's a good body puncher, and he does get his hands back. I like Terrence Crawford has a nice array of moves, and he can fight from the outside, he can switch and all that, and that's all good. But if you're not able to land that shot that is going to get him to back up off you, you're going to have a long night. And that's what I said. I said if Terrence can't keep him off him, it is going to be a long night. Now, if he cracks him.
No, hold on. Can I add something real quick? What if Terrence Crawford is smart? Maybe watch one of our courses, right? Yeah. And when Errol gets close, he ties him up.
Oh yeah, listen.
We haven't thrown that in there. Like I think Terrence Crawford is smart enough to tie him up.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with that.
So if he's touching him, Errol gets in close and he ties him up, reset, and he can do that for a number of rounds to frustrate Errol.
Right, but listen,
see him maybe even win clearly.
Oh, hey, listen, but you got to remember, Errol ain't just gonna be walking in with his hands up, waiting for him to tie up. Errol gonna be jabbing from the outside to get in. Errol feints. He throws shots to different levels. Listen, this is what I'm saying. He's active, but he's not active in one spot. He doesn't just get active when he's close to you. He's active at every range. He's always got the jab in your face. And then a lot of times something coming behind it. And this is why I said what I said. This is why, even with you guys and Kell Brook and all of these other different guys that he's been in with, it's been one constant. Those shots are flowing at every range, at multiple angles. It is very difficult for me to see when I watch. The only person that he's fought that has been able to keep that pace was who? Sean Porter, because Sean Porter, that's his game. Sean Porter's game is to fight like that. He wants you to get closer, to throw shots and exchange with him, because that's how he gets his shit off. Why did you think that fight was so good? And I got a lot of people high off that looking at him fight. Oh, well, he fought Errol, and Errol couldn't get him out, and it was a hard fight. But these styles, those two styles together, is action. Who knows who will win? Because Sean Porter's real good. He'll come in head first. But with the way Sean Porter's style coming in to fight Terrence Crawford, you even seen it when Sean Porter fought Adrian Broner and he got caught with that counter shot in the last, that counter hook in the last round. He can get caught every now and again messing around, and that's what happened with Terrence. Eventually Terrence was gonna catch him, but when he did, it was whether he could take it or not. And he couldn't, obviously. That's what the difference was in the fight, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I think that Sean was doing well up until the times he started getting caught like that, which was the last couple rounds. But where Errol is different. Errol, I don't think, is a giant puncher, one-punch guy. He's an accumulative guy. So it takes time for him. So if he's in there, and even he caught Sean one time and dropped him, but I didn't really take much from that. I was there. That's just that happens. You get caught in the middle of some shit. But the reality of it is that fight was going to, even if they fought again or two more times, it's always going to be hotly contested on both sides because of the styles. That's just how that works. But I think it's a little different with Errol going in with him, because Errol could fight not just at close range, and he doesn't jump in head first like goddamn, I can't. Sean Porter does. Errol's throwing shots on the way in. He's making you think. You can't just wait and think you're gonna catch him with one. It's not gonna happen like that. He got multiple shots coming to you first, then you react. Yeah, and then by the time,
no, but I get that. But Errol Spence is great at doing that. But we got to remember, man, Terrence Crawford is mobile. He uses his angles. He uses his feet. He's got good defense. He's got great counter punches. Before we continue to talk about that, did you see this?
Yeah, I just saw it. Like, yo. He looked like he ain't want no parts either. He looked like he ain't want no parts.
Now, I don't know if he didn't want parts. I felt like he just felt like, fuck. I knew I fucked up. Like, he wasn't prepared to fight, and he got clipped, and he just kind of like you know what I'm saying? Like, he was more mad at himself than he was.
I can see that. You know, I can see that. But it to me, first glance, and even now, still looked like he just didn't want no parts of it. I didn't. So,
time I see it, bro.
Yo, it's crazy. It's a surprise. That lets you know Caleb Plant is like, yo, respect my gangster. Don't just think you gonna just be doing.
I had a conversation with somebody who's really close to Caleb Plant, and
he a hothead.
No. He was saying like Plant-Charlo. I guess that was Jamal. He's been testing him for quite some time, and it's just been building up. And I don't know what happened this particular night. That's only one half of what really happened. We don't know what happened before that. We heard Caleb say, yo, don't ever touch me in my face like that or try to grab me in my face. He said something along those lines, and when he was getting pulled away. You know what I'm saying?
He did.
So, you know, he just popped off on him. But he was far away. Like, if you really look at how far he was when he threw that shot, the fact that he got that shot off, that shit was fast.
Slapped the shit out that moment.
I think that, you know, at that distance, that Charlo would have been able to drop, slip, he just got clipped.
Listen, he wasn't expecting that. He didn't even see it.
Beautiful, beautiful shot by Caleb Plant. I hope they fight each other so they can settle this. I hope that nothing serious happens legal-wise. I hope that it doesn't go outside of, well, it did already go outside of boxing. But, hey, man, if y'all, you know what I mean? But I hope it doesn't go further than what just happened today. I hope that they can somewhat settle this, you know, in a way where, you know what I mean, it's boxing somehow. I don't know what the hell the argument was about. But back to Crawford, man. I'm really surprised of what I'm hearing from you. I gotta be honest. I'm really
Why, man?
because
I thought I was.
I'm surprised because as good as Errol Spence is, and as good as Crawford is,
Yeah.
the fact that you are so confidently picking Errol. See, it ain't that you're picking Errol, and it ain't that you're saying anything necessarily wrong. It's the amount of confidence that you're saying it as if you can almost.
It's already done.
You're almost willing to put money on it because you're so confident, almost as if Terrence Crawford has not proven time and time again that he is a winner. And
No,
I'm only picking somebody
no.
at this point. The only reason I'm picking somebody is because it's like, fuck it, Coach Ant, pick somebody, man. You gotta pick somebody. So I'm only picking somebody because I feel like it's my duty to at least say who I think is gonna win, but not in any way, shape, form would I be confident picking either guy in this fight.
Either one. Yeah.
I'm like,
and to be
I'm so torn by it that I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pick Crawford, but if you were correct about your prediction, I wouldn't in no way be surprised. But I would be surprised if he won clearly, as the way he's saying. If he won so clear, where it's almost like, how did you not see that coming? I would be fucking surprised. I think it's gonna be a super competitive fight throughout. And I do believe that Terrence Crawford having more layers to his game, that's gonna be the difference in the fight. I just think that the guy because I think they're both equally as tough. Let's just be clear.
Yeah.
I think they're both equally as tough. I think they are both going to be equally as conditioned. I think that Terrence Crawford might have the edge with the one punching power, and I think
I agree.
And I think that Terrence Crawford has the edge with the volume punching, and he has the edge.
Terrence Crawford has with the volume.
No, Errol Spence has the. Errol Spence has the advantage with the size. But again, is that truly an advantage? Because we've seen the smaller guy have the advantage by being more mobile, more speedy, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
You as a prime example in the heavyweight division, right? So I don't know if size is really going to play a part in this fight. I think it's going to come down to heart and skills. And I just think that they both got equal heart, but I think Terrence got a little bit better skills. And I just think that that's why I would think that Terrence Crawford should be able to figure something out in this fight. But
see, that's the thing. He has to be able to figure something out. He ain't just going to be able to stand toe to toe. Not say toe to toe, but skill wise. But he has to. It's something he has to figure out. Where Errol, I see it as business as usual. He going in and he's going to work, but the same demeanor and same attitude he's going in with everyone else he's fought. You haven't seen any real difference in any of that.
What's up, fam? Just hopping in. One thing. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. What's up, fam? Just hopping in. One thing I feel a lot of guys aren't talking about is Errol switch hits and throws the right. Crawford is open to that, but Bud times overhand. Spence is open for it. I don't really see Errol switch that often. Do you?
I don't know. I honestly haven't paid much attention to that. But
that switch, I don't see it often. Just Anthony, I don't see it often. But I mean, yes, Crawford. Listen, Crawford is very vulnerable because almost I've had the honor to say I've worked a corner against Terrence Crawford when I used to work with Hammer and Hank Lundy years ago, and Hank Lundy was successful in that fight for a couple of rounds until he got caught, like most of the guys who lose to Terrence Crawford. Most of the guys who lose to Terrence Crawford usually are having success up until they get caught with something, right? And my whole thing is there is vulnerabilities in Crawford. He's a slow starter. He tends to lose rounds. He can get a little wide, I feel like, with his punches a little bit. I feel like his defense is sometimes not always up to par. But the adjustments that he has shown in almost every fight I've seen him in is elite. Like, I haven't seen fighters who can adjust the way he does. He's one of those guys that you can't, until that 12-round bell rings, he's in the fucking fight. He's that kind of fighter. Like, you could be winning 12 rounds in 30 seconds against him, and he might clip you in the last 30 because he just has that kind of heart, that kind of will to win. And I just know, that's what makes him such an interesting, dangerous fighter.
Right. I agree with that. I mean, and that's why I said, I don't think that there by any means he doesn't have a chance, or that it's not even a 50-50 kind of fight. It's just I see the style and I look at the style and I say the only thing that he really can do over a sustained period is if he can get respect and get Errol to say, I'm not throwing 60 punches around. If Errol throwing 60 to 70 punches around, fight's not going well for Terrence. That's what I say. Because that's not his game. You know what I'm saying? His game is to be able to pop shot, chill from the outside. If he's throwing 60 punches around, that means if Earl's throwing 60-something punches around, that means that he's able to land, or even if land on his body, he's making Terrence have to look for counter shots. Terrence is waiting on opportunities. And the more he waits on opportunities, the more rounds that Earl's banking. And we're not saying that Errol don't punch hard at all. I think he hits hard enough to hurt Terrence Crawford, but I just don't see that as the route the fight is going. I think that if anybody gets stopped, especially early, I would pick it to be Errol gets stopped early, getting caught with something coming in or whatever, and Terrence wins by knockout or hurts him early. I see him being an explosive, good counter puncher that he is. But if we're talking about distance and we talk about who's going to win and who's going to get the fight late, that's Errol in my opinion. That's
Hold on. Let me be double advocate to that.
Mm-hmm.
Terrence Crawford has looked better as every fight that he's been in as the fight gets later in the fight.
True.
It's almost as if he fights better round 6 through 12.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if I feel like if the fight goes late that Errol has that advantage. I feel like if Errol doesn't get off to a really strong start and the fight continues to drag on, I feel like that favors Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford at that point has already dealt with the storm. He's already weathered the storm. If he's still in the fight in the 6th round and Errol hasn't gotten off to a big start as I expected, I expect Errol to win the first couple rounds. But if he doesn't get off to that early start and you let Terrence Crawford somewhat get into a rhythm in the later rounds, he's never shown any flaw. Terrence Crawford has never shown any signs of weakness in the fight going into the later rounds. Example, when you saw Devin Haney fight, when he was going into later rounds, we seen him get clipped a few times. That's when we were like, yo, we don't know how Devin's going to look in the later rounds against Lomachenko.
Right.
You kind of could visualize that. Where has Terrence Crawford ever showed weakness in the later rounds of any fight?
It's not about
to make you say to yourself, man, as the fight goes longer, that's going to favor Errol.
No. His mental capacity for dealing with adversity, I think, is great too. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, because I've seen him hurt. I don't even remember what rounds it was, but like with Gamboa and some of these other guys that he fought where he got hit with some good shots and got buzzed a little bit, but ended up coming out a winner. So I'm not saying he doesn't have the recuperative ability. I'm saying if he's getting hit with 60 punches around, 60 to 70 punches, not getting hit with all of them, but you know what I mean. If he's getting that kind of activity put on him, you mean you don't think that he's going to have some wear and tear as the fight goes on, especially if they're landing? That's what I'm saying. You look at Ugas's eye. You see how his eye was swollen and all of that after taking all that punishment? We couldn't even see out of that motherfucker after a while.
Hold up. Anthony, he does it on the inside. Watch the Mikey Garcia fight, Porter fight versus Brooke. I think it's worth a mention because Errol likes to fight them at their game. Okay, man. If I catch myself bored early tomorrow, I'll take a look at some of those fights. Okay. But Eddie. Come on, Eddie. Uga stands in front of you like this. Of course, you're gonna get busted up doing that.
Hold up.
When have we ever seen Terrence Crawford just lock up and try to block everything? Errol Spence.
I mean,
he's punching for defense. Ugas is like a fake Winky Wright. Like he tries to fight with his hands up like this, and he's getting touched the whole time. You can't do that with a superior.
Okay.
Fighter. You know that.
Oh, okay. That's fine. But what if he doesn't put his hands up? What if he still tries to fight at range and he's getting caught with those jabs, and then we got 3 or 4s coming behind it?
I mean, if he's
then what?
if he's still getting caught at range with those jabs, and I don't see Terrence making an adjustment, like circling out, dropping, smothering, tying up, countering on the way in, that's where I'll say I'll be very fucking surprised. I don't think Terrence Crawford would allow that. I think that he's a smart enough fighter to say, okay, I'm getting touched, drop, slide in, or circle, or slip. Like, he doesn't come off as a guy who's just going to get hit.
Right. And there's no question about it. But what about if it's not working? What about if trying to just defend? Because listen, you can try to defend and use range only so much. There are ways that you get caught up to in the ring because the ring is only a certain distance. You can run only so much, and then you have to be offensive enough to get rounds in. So he can't just play defense totally, because if he does that too, then once again, he's going to be severely behind.
And remember this, Terrence Crawford fights southpaw, and I believe he fights southpaw better than he fights as an orthodox. I believe when he goes when he goes southpaw, he's dangerous. So now if Errol tries to work that jab and he goes southpaw with him, now they're going to be exchanging jabs. They're going to be exchanging those sharp punches because they'll be on the same line, where the sharper fighter should be able to land the cleaner shots in those situations. Where I believe that, this is where I'm saying, Terrence Crawford got so many options in this fight where we only have one thing for. What happens if Terrence Crawford pushes Errol Spence back somehow? What happens
if he can?
What happens
if he can?
I feel like Terrence can go forward, Terrence can go backwards, Terrence can switch posts. Errol has one option: walk to you, break you the fuck down. If that does not work, what else does he have?
I mean, honestly,
nothing else.
I don't think it's gonna take. But you got to understand, I don't think that one trick is something that can necessarily be curtailed unless you stop him from being able to go forward. If that's the case, if Terrence can do that, he's going to have to be able to keep him off him. And the only way you could keep him off is either you match the pace, which I don't think he will do or can do, or hurt him, wiggle his legs, make him drop, whatever. If he can do that, then I agree.
Danny Garcia went 12 rounds with him, and he only threw one punch. He only threw one hand. He barely threw the right hand. He went 12
and you know
rounds.
why?
He went 12 rounds.
You know why? You know why?
That Terrence can't. Terrence is letting both of them hands go tomorrow night. Danny. No disrespect to Danny. Danny's a great champion. But, bro, I mean, Danny could have won that fight if he threw both hands. I'm not saying.
But he could. But this is what I'm saying, he couldn't, bro. This is why. See, the thing is, it's like we watched my man, and I feel even bad for bringing this up. We watched Steve Fulton when we watched Scooter fight. No, anyway.
Big shout out to him, because that fucking kid.
He's a bad motherfucker, 100%.
He's one of the best fighters I've seen in
a while. Yeah.
I didn't know
listen,
who he was, yo. It's a shame I didn't know, because people kept asking me, who do you think's gonna win? Scooter? Of course, I'm going with Scooter. I'm going with the hometown.
Yeah,
that's just.
Of course, I wanted to see that. Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't watch NUA. So when people kept talking about NUA, I'm like, they're probably just hyping him up because he's a Japanese guy, and they want to see somebody from a different country rise. No, bro, this fucking kid is
special.
Fantastic, bro.
He's special. He got a lot going.
I started watching all his older fights. I watched his Nonito Donaire fights. Yo, this kid is, I don't know when's the last time he's reminds me of a Canelo on the come up. He's just super sharp, super fast, great defense, great offensively. He's the truth. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of forgot my point now.
No, I'm not bad, bro. You brought up Terrence. You brought up NUA with
Steve. Yeah. But the way I was trying to match it was, Steve Fulton, right? Steve, he had the height, he had the advantage here, he had this, he had that, and there was opportunity for him, right, to utilize that, but he couldn't do it. His activity was in the basement. He couldn't get the shots off.
Hold on.
Anyway,
let me address something. Let me address something to my man. Oh, because he's from Philly. Wow, coach, you're a New Yorker. Listen, I'm from everywhere. I grew up in New York City. I live in Florida. And I'm going to be honest. I earned my boxing stripes here in Philadelphia. I'm going to be honest. I mean, every top fighter that I've worked with that has put my name on the map, for the most part, has been Philadelphia fighters. I've been in the Philadelphia fight scene with all my amateurs, the Middle Atlantic. So when it comes to boxing, you know, my pedigree in Philadelphia is what really got you guys to know who the hell I am. So big shout out to Philadelphia. I'm not going to sit here and ever act like, you know, just because I'm from New York, I ain't got love for Philly, because Philly has helped me develop, and I've earned my stripes here. I'm not in Philly at the moment, but I earned stripes in Philadelphia as a coach. Eddie Chambers, same thing. You from Pittsburgh.
Facts.
And people, you've earned your stripes in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
even more than my city. That's a fact.
Like Philadelphia is a serious boxing city. And
hell yeah.
we earned our stripes here, man. So I'm never going to shit on Philly. I love Philly. Philly's my home, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. But big shout out to New York City, man. Look, I'm wearing a New York hat right now. I'm a New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker heart in the heart to the death. But Philly, man, Philly is what helped me with my boxing journey. So I'm never going to switch on that. Yo, let's go ahead and see Enzo Crawford punching between punches, and he got longer reach. I think he's quicker than Spence. Won't see the shot, but Bud will see Spence shots coming. Not bad analysis.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's just the amount. And the thing is, if he throws those punches in between and he catches them, and it doesn't do what he wants it to do, it doesn't have the effect that he wants it to have, and the shots keep coming, that's when the fight's really going to be sealed for me. When I see if Crawford catches him and cracks him and hurts him, hey, you know, that's what I said. It can happen that way, and that's what you would think. But it ain't that. It's how Spence is coming back. It's the multiple shots that he's going to be throwing. Can Crawford deal with 6 shots at a time, which I don't particularly like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that he's going to throw 6 shots, that's a little extra, but you know what I'm saying? 2s, 3s constantly coming at him. You know what I mean? Not giving him a chance to have a moment to gather what's coming or what's coming next, or what his pace is going to be, or what the cadence of how he's throwing and what rhythm it is. He's not going to have a lot of time to make these decisions because the punches are still coming. That's what I'm saying. It's cool to be able to throw shots in between, but you got to make sure it's the right shot, and you're not putting yourself out to hanging yourself out to dry, getting caught with shit just because you got to throw something because this dude is on your ass too much.
I feel like Errol. I feel like Errol's susceptible to a counter left hook, and I believe that Crawford.
It's possible. It's possible.
Clean, bro.
Possible.
I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. The more I talk about this fight, the more I can't wait.
Yeah.
I need you
it's
guys.
Beautiful.
I need you guys in the chat to let me know right now. Who do you think is gonna win tomorrow? Crawford or Spence? Is right, Crawford or Spence? You know what I mean? And I'm going to go ahead and put your prediction here on the chat. We got my man who asked a question. Did y'all see Plant slap Plant-Charlo? You tell me. Saw it. He done stole the show. He done really
stole it. He damn sure did.
Fighting tomorrow, this is all we're gonna be talking about is that that hook or whatever the hell that was. That shot was so quick, can't even tell it what the hell it was, if it was a punch or a slap. Everybody's saying it's a slap, so maybe it was a slap.
Yeah, I think it was a punch, maybe a little bit more of a reaction.
I feel like it was like one of those punches. You know when you land the punches with the inside of your palm? Like I feel like he didn't get the knuckles in there, but I feel like the fist was close. All right, let's see. We got Bud on the cards. We got Spence. We got Crawford. We got Spence. We got, I'm excited, Crawford. We got Crawford.
Wins in 11.
So we got Crawford in 11. That sounds like it could happen. That just sounds like it could happen. Do you think this fight ends in a stoppage tomorrow in your heart, or do you think it goes to the cards?
I think it ends in a stoppage. I think if it goes how I would think it would go, and just looking at the styles and looking at how it matched up to me in my mind, and what I think will prevail. I think it's gonna be late. I would figure it'd be late. You know what I mean? I mean, it could anywhere from 8 to 10, 11. You know what I mean? I see it being as possible there because I'm just thinking the damage. If Crawford is taking that kind of, if them hands are landing on Crawford that much, by that time, he's gonna be feeling it. He's gonna have some scar tissue somewhere. You know what I mean? And it's gonna then become a little more desperation. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I mean, that's just how I see it. Doesn't mean that I'm right. If the Spence stoppage in 11 sounds good, 10 that sounds good to me.
No, these are
what I mean?
This is mixed reactions, and the way you see it right now, where everybody's going back and forth, Crawford and Spence. Now me and you are not totally agreeing. That's the kind of fight this is. This
1,000,000%.
You're gonna view it from one angle. Somebody's gonna view it from another angle. If you're a Spence fan, you're gonna pick Spence. If you're a Crawford fan, you're gonna pick Crawford. If you like the aggressor, you're gonna go with Spence. If you like a boxer, pure boxer, you're probably gonna pick Crawford. That's the kind of fight this is. Me, I'm just gonna go ahead and go on a limb and pick Crawford. But listen, by no means do I want somebody coming in this chat tomorrow. I told you, coach, that Spence is gonna whoop his ass. You don't know shit. What kind of coach are you? Listen, I'm not counting Spence out at all. This is 51-49 for me, and I'm gonna give the 51 to Crawford. This is 51-49. I mean,
agreed.
And if I didn't have to speak on it, I probably wouldn't even speak on it publicly. But I'm gonna go ahead and speak on it publicly since you picked Spence. I'm gonna go with Crawford because today, when I was in the kitchen getting a cup of coffee, I was like, I think Crawford's gonna do it. So fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. It's one of those fights, man. It's one of those fights, man. I can't believe it that this fight has less attention than Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis.
I mean, Ryan Garcia.
I'm not surprised, but I can't believe it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
because this is such a big fight to us. It's because
it's the best boxing match in a long.
There could be. It's the best boxing. It's the best fight, the biggest fight that could be made in boxing right now, I think. And it's not reaching people outside of us. That's the problem. I mean, it is to a degree, but not to the magnitude of Ryan Garcia and Tank. And because honestly, you gotta give a lot of credit to Ryan Garcia. He's been sold, attractive, tall, good boxing. Pause. Hey, I'm just being, but no, I didn't mean like that. Man. Come on, don't put me in that box, nigga. Yo, come on, bro. Come on. Nah, but what I'm saying is, I'm just saying that gives that, and then you got Tank on the other side. Tattoos, tough, little gangster type dude. I said tattoos.
What'd you say?
Tattoos.
Why are you bringing up his tattoos, bro?
Nah, I'm just saying he got the gangster kind of look, bro. Listen, hold up. We was at his.
The other guy with the tattoos. I'm just trying to figure some stuff out right now, Eddie.
No, come on. No, what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he got it's that contrast. It's like all American, even though he's Mexican, all American kid with the other side of the tracks board, and they come and meeting in the middle.
I know why he sold. I get it.
And that's the difference.
Yeah, you got the guy who obviously, he's like the Jake Paul who could box, basically.
Right.
He's
What I'm saying?
Paul who actually could box. Now, have you seen with Derrick James? What's your thoughts on What's your thoughts on recent videos? I don't know if you've seen him, Ryan Garcia working with Derrick James. Derrick James got him with his hands up real tight and basically bringing his hands back to his chin and stuff. A lot of people were super excited about it. Like, look, he's working the fundamentals and he's learning and all this stuff. What's your thoughts? I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't really seen it, but just from what you're telling me, I mean, obviously, I think that was one of the biggest things with him. He fight with his head up too far high up in the air. He's selling out with shots from too far away, punching down. I think that was the biggest issue with him. If they can curtail that and get him to use his length as opposed to his height, as opposed to his height and being a big target. You know what I'm saying? Because if you standing straight up, you know what I mean. You're using length as far as your reach and things like that is not as legit as if you were in a better, more solid position with your hips under you, able to. Then you could throw that power, and then be in a nice, strong position and a better defensive posture. So I like what they're saying, and with, him with his hands up high, getting his hands back. That just shows me that now he has to be more defensively responsible. If you have defensive responsibility with all the things and all the gifts that he's had before, he becomes a different kind of fighter now. And now you got to fight him differently. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into there. But before, he's selling out with those big right hands and hooks and swinging heavy from the outside. It's like, and punching, like I said, punching down, especially at shorter fighters. That's why he got caught with that that counter shot with Tank. And it's just, if maybe if he was with Derek James then and he was actually doing what they're teaching him, might have had a better shot then. But as it stands, I don't know. We got to see.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what comes out of. I mean, obviously, I believe they'll probably throw Ryan Garcia in easy for a couple of fights just to get him some height and then. But I can't wait to see Ryan Garcia against somebody of true talent with this new training camp that he has, and I believe it takes a trainer and a fighter a couple of camps to really lock in with each other. So we'll see what happens with that, man. But yeah, man, tomorrow, man, we got biggest fight in a long time. Now, there's been some really good fights in the last recent years. I can't even remember them, honestly. I just know that there was really good fights. But this is on paper probably the biggest fight since Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Would you agree?
I would agree 100%. It's the fight everybody been, clamoring for a while now. And the good thing is they're still in their prime and they're getting it on at this point. Still got more to do after this fight, possibly. So it's good. It's really good that it's happening now, as opposed to them waiting and not being able to get it together as far as the outside of the ring stuff. And they're actually getting it in. They're doing it for the fans, which is great. You know what I mean? They're obviously doing it for their position in history too.
Are you pulling up tomorrow? Because I'm thinking, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what y'all think, okay? Do you guys think that I should just do a post-fight reaction to the fight tomorrow? Or should I do a live stream where I'm watching the fight and giving you guys the play-by-play as the fight is happening and giving you in between rounds of what we saw in the previous round? Which one would y'all prefer? Would y'all prefer a post-fight reaction where we talk about what we all saw? Or would you guys like for me to do it as the fight is actually happening live? Let me know in the chat right now, and I'll make a decision on what I'm going to do tomorrow. But a lot of people are saying right off the rip, live stream, play.
I knew it.
People want to see that. So Eddie, if I do that, you have to be here for that.
All right. I'll have to make it happen.
Play by play, then we gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta have you next to me, because at the end of the day, we're having this conversation. I want to look at you when Terrence Crawford down the hook and be like, you know what I'm saying? I want to see reaction.
The messed up thing is, man, I already told my peoples I might, we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? I might be able to do it. You know what I mean? I feel I want to make sure we can make this happen. So yeah, so you can look at my face when I win. You know what I'm saying? Or if I don't, that's cool.
Listen, they could go either way. I'm just excited for a good fight. I haven't been excited about a fight in a minute, so this is a fight that I'm really genuinely excited about. I was excited about Devin Haney-Lomachenko. I went to that. I was excited about Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Ryan Garcia was gonna be much more competitive than he showed in that fight. I was a little disappointed in that fight, but I definitely was excited for that. So I've been excited for fights. I'm not gonna sit here in front like I wasn't excited for fights as of recently, but I just know the kind of fight this is. These are two prideful champions. I think that we can have a classic fight tomorrow. I think this can go down as one of the classics, only because you know how you said like the two aggressive fighters, they make for an exciting fight. I believe that the styles that we're looking at tomorrow also makes for an exciting fight, because you got
and interesting. More than just exciting.
Yeah, even if it's not as exciting as some may want it to be, it's going to be so interesting If you're a boxing enthusiast, the way I'm assuming most people are in this chat, you're going to be enjoying every minute of the fight anyway, because you're going to be learning. These are the kind of fights that you learn from. That if you're a student of the game, you're going to pick up stuff. You know what I mean? You're going to learn stuff from each guy on how to deal with these dimensions if you ever come across them, if you're a fighter or whatnot. You know what I mean? So this is going to be a hell of a man. Yeah, man. That's it, man. I think we're going to cut it right here. We already laid our predictions. It's been 50-50 in the chat. A lot of people picking Spence. A lot of people picking Crawford. You picking Spence. Me picking Crawford. I appreciate
that kind of fight.
Coming in. And tomorrow we're either going to do a live stream. It looks like we're going with the live stream. It looks like it's 70-30 for the live stream. At least, unless something happens where I can't set it up where I want to play, watch the fight and everything, and it's not going to be comfortable for me to do the live stream, then I might not do it, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time. But the goal is right now to do the live stream and get you guys to do a play-by-play, so you guys can go ahead and see us talk about the fight as it happens live. Now, y'all not gonna watch the fight, just letting y'all know, for those of y'all out there who might never have seen this before. You're gonna just be looking at us talking about the fight. You know what I mean? You have to watch the fight on your own and then watch the YouTube just to see what we got to say. You know what I mean? Et cetera, man. Anything else, Eddie? Anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, man. This was good, man. It's good to, it's good to agree, not to have to agree. You know what I'm saying? And this is what educated boxing conversations is like. You know what I'm saying? You may not agree with the guy's pick or something like that. You know what I mean? But to understand why. And I think, this is a good learning situation for the people who are watching too, that, there's multiple different ways that things can play out in these fights. And a lot of it, it could be something with the IQ. It could be something with the guy's skill, something with the guy's ability to, power, speed, or just overall activity. And there's so many different ways you can win a fight. You know what I mean? So it's good to see that in this fight, we're hearing so many different angles on how one guy could win over the other. And it just shows the quality that the fight is. And it's perfect that it's happening while they're still in their prime. And now we won't have to question who's the better man. You know what I mean? And who was he was a little past it, or this guy was nah. They're both in their prime. They're both undefeated. They're locking horns at the right time. I like this.
Now, what I will say is that it takes for a fight to be this competitive for us to even disagree, because you and I usually
that's
agree.
A fact.
You and
that
I
is a fact.
Agree. So the fact that we're disagreeing a little bit and who we just think's going to win shows you the kind of level of a fight this truly is. This is a fight where
fight for the ages. Fight of the ages.
You don't know who's going to win, and and anybody you pick is not a bad pick. So I really feel bad for the people who's putting money on this fight, because if I was putting money on this fight, I'd be like trembling, like, oh shit, man, I think I might have made a mistake. Especially this is the kind of fight where you think your guy's doing good the first 4 rounds, and then something changes.
Yep.
Man, you're like, fuck,
easily. It's
man.
Just like that.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna cut the live short. I'm not gonna be on here for too long tonight, man. I want to say thank you for y'all chiming in. Make sure you guys text me at 215-709-5437. Text me right now. Say, yo, coach, I got your number from the chat. Make sure you guys go to the website CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. If you guys want to learn how to box at home, if you guys want to learn how to box online and learn real boxing techniques, all right, with me, and of course none other than world-class professional Fast Eddie Chambers, who's on all the courses. So you already know, guys. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.